Hi everyone, in today's video we're going to talk about the fundamentals of effective ear training for musicians. Before going ahead with this video, I invite you to hit the thumbs up below and subscribe to this channel. If you're interested in ear training, we're going to publish a lot of new tutorials and free content on that. And I also invite you to check out our free workshop. It's available by clicking on the link below. You can sign up to it for free and it includes a lot of valuable content about ear training. It explains all the scientific evidence, studies, etc. that show how our perception of musical pitch really works. And these are the concepts that we based our ear training method on. While watching the workshop, you will also be able to understand what's your current level and what exercises you should practice based on that. Not only that, because you will clearly understand what exercises are not going to work for you based on your current level. So what exercises you should avoid and why. So if you're interested in ear training, that's a great introduction to our method. You will get a ton of value and it's totally free for now. So don't wait, sign up to it by clicking on the link in the description section below. Okay, let's get to the fundamentals of effective ear training. The first very important thing to understand is that ear training skills develop in a pyramidal fashion. This means that you're going to have basic skills that you need to develop first before you can get to the top skills, okay, to the advanced ones. And this is absolutely vital because if you try, like most musicians unfortunately do, if you try to develop the advanced skills at first, you get stuck, frustrated, and you only want to quit ear training forever. So this is not what you should do, and it's very important that you start from the basic and you make sure that those basic skills are very on point and very solid. This also means that you should practice your training tasks that are adequate to your current level. So you should understand very well and you should know very well how this pyramidal process works, what you should do first and then what you should do next. This is absolutely vital in developing ear training skills. So let's make some examples about that. For example, the most basic skills you can have are pitch matching and singing the scale. These are the two most basic skills you can have. The most basic one is pitch matching, really. So the ability to hear a note and match it with your voice. This is the most basic skill that you must absolutely have before doing anything else. If you don't have it yet, if you have a hard time matching pitch, there's nothing to worry about. You just need to work on it in an effective way so that you can improve and learn and develop this skill. I started that I wasn't able to match pitch. In our course, there are a lot of students that started at the same level and now are able to recognize melodies, chord progressions, and perform much more complicated ear training tasks. So it's just a matter of how you work and where you put your focus on. So without digressing too much, pitch matching skills and the ability to sing the scale, which means that you're able to create a mental representation of the tonality of a simple major key, are absolutely essential. Another basic ability is the ability to recognize the tonic of a song. So you should literally be able to sing the tonic note of any given melody, chord progression, or musical piece that you listen to, okay? These are the very basic skills. There are more basic skills, of course, but these are the most important ones. And it doesn't make any sense to practice intervals at all if you don't have these skills yet. So if you're doing that, my suggestion is to stop practicing intervals and do other activities that improve these other areas that you are weak in, because you're not getting better at intervals if you're not good at those more basic tasks yet. And this point leads me to the next important fundamental thing in your training, which is practice following a tonal approach. Okay, you should absolutely master the tonality and you should absolutely learn to recognize melodies, chords, etc. in a very simple tonal context first, like a major key, a minor key, without modulations, without key shifts, without any more complicated or advanced harmonic element in it. Once you are good at recognizing music in very simple harmonic contexts, then you can start to complicate and introduce non-diatonic notes, non-diatonic chords, modulation, key shifts, etc. But you should absolutely do it in an incremental and gradual way. It's important to not make any jump to advanced harmonic context when you're not ready yet. Well, you might wonder why I'm saying this, why I'm so convinced about it. Well, aside from my personal experience where I practiced intervals for 10 years straight and I didn't get any results out of them, and then I started practicing in this, what I'm referring to, a tonal way, and I've started to improve noticeably in weeks there are also a lot of scientific findings and studies that show why you should follow this general indication, why you should start working on simple tonal context and then move on to atonal stuff or interval recognition exercises only when you're very, very confident at practicing in those simple contexts. Indeed, I've made a specific video where I talk about all of these scientific findings. You will find also the links to the scientific papers in the description section of that video. I'll put a link to it up here. I suggest you to watch it. You will also find a link in the description section below. In that video, I also explain why you should avoid practicing intervals, at least until you're a very, very advanced level. Lastly, another reason why I'm so convinced that a tonal approach is far, far better than intervals or any other ear training approach is the results that I'm seeing our students are getting. And we have videos where we show the real improvement they got going from month 0 to month 3, month 5, etc. And you can check them out yourself if you want. You will find a link to it up here and in the description section below. You can check out our testimonial page on our website where you will find all of their comments and reviews, etc. Let's get to the third fundamental of effective ear training for musicians, which is taking into account all the variables and subskills that constitute our relative pitch system. Relative pitch skills are made up of very different set of skills and abilities that all converge in our ability to perform all kinds of ear training tasks. Recognize music and play music and have the ability to create music from our imagination, basically. And I will make some examples so that you can better understand, otherwise the concepts are too abstract. For example, musical memory skills are very, very important and are often neglected, especially short-term musical memory skills, which is, for example, the ability to retain a simple melody line and then being able to analyze it. You can understand how short-term musical memory plays a very important role in the ability to recognize a melody, because if you can't remember the melody, you're not going to be able to recognize it. But still, you can be able to retain the melody quite easily, but you can have a hard time analyzing the notes and figuring them out. So you see that melodic recognition skills are made up of multiple components, and you need to understand what components is causing issues for you so that you can work on that specific component separately. This is what makes great ear training different from average or poor ear training, because if you don't know the issue that's holding you back, you're not going to fix it, or at least you're not going to fix it in an efficient way. It might get fixed by chance, but that's not how you should practice anything at all. I mean, just hoping that's get fixed by chance, it's not at all something that I would suggest to anybody. So that's just a simple example of why this point is very important. I made a specific video about short-term musical memory and melodic recognition skills. You will find a link to it up here and in the description section below. Another example why it's important to take into account all the variables and subskills that make up an effective relative pitch system is about tonic recognition and retention skills. Tonic recognition and retention skills are two very important skills for any musicians to have and are building blocks for our musicality. And if you have issues in these two skills, you absolutely need to work on fixing them as soon as possible. Unfortunately, many students don't know that they are experiencing issues in tonic recognition and retention skills, and this is preventing them to be able to accomplish other ear training tasks. And I've seen it multiple times. Students who are kind of good already, they have issues in tonic recognition and retention skills, and when they work properly on that and they fix that, they immediately get like 10 times better in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, in a ridiculously small amount of time. And this is the magic of proper ear training, really. So it helps you focus on the thing that you need to fix and that will give you the most results in return. It's like a targeted practice, not a broad and random way of practicing. I hope the point came through. Anyway, if you want, you can also check out a specific video where I talk in depth about tonic recognition and retention skills, and I give you a few ideas on how to develop them. You will find a link to it up here and in the description section below. The last important point about fundamentals of effective ear training is applying ear training skills to real musical contexts, to real songs, real musical pieces, real songwriting and composition, because that's when you learn the most. You should absolutely practice ear training exercises and include them in your routine, but then you should always always apply those skills to real music, because real music is infinitely more complex than ear training exercises. And that's how it should be, because ear training exercises should be meant to focus on a specific area, on a specific subject, on a specific problem, and fix that. That's how you improve, actually. You fix a lot of problems and then you gradually improve. But real music is more complex than that, and so you should also learn to get through that by working on real music. There's no other thing that can help you the most. Of course, you need to have at least a certain basic level of skills before you can work on real music. For example, I suggest our students to work on real music only when they have passed the third unit of our course, and this is because the first 3 units of our course, they are meant to develop those basic skills that then allow them to face real musical context. And another very important thing when facing real music is to start with songs and musical pieces that are adequate to your current level. So if you're starting out, if you're a beginner, just work on very simple songs. Start with nursery rhymes at the beginning. That's a great idea. And then you can work on mainstream pop, folk, and kind of very simple songs that are written in one single key and don't have advanced harmonic elements in them. Like they don't have key shifts, they don't have non-diatonic chords, non-diatonic notes, etc. Then when you're confident at that, you can go ahead and work on more complex songs bit by bit. That's how you should do it. So don't expect to be able to learn advanced songs by ear without any effort if you still can't learn Twinkle Twinkle Little Star by ear without any instruments and without any efforts. Great. Those were the 4 fundamentals of effective ear training for musicians. I hope you liked the video. If you do, please leave a like to this video and hit the subscribe button below. Lastly, I invite you to check out our website and to watch our free workshop, which is a goldmine for anyone who is interested in ear training, and it's totally free for now. So feel free to sign up for it. You will find all the relevant links in the description section below. Don't forget to leave your comments down below if you have some questions. I'll be happy to reply to you. That's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.